Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Prem Singh Judge from Perth, Western Australia, originally from Sentul. My father, Sardar Kalwan Singh Ji, son of Noop Singh, was born in village Pajoli, district of Mohali in 1915. He came over to Malaya in 1921 and studied in various schools, passing out his senior Cambridge in 1932 from Kajang High School. As he was born in India, he found it difficult to get a permanent job. However, when the Japanese invaded, he was posted in Johor Bahru as a station master, from where the Japanese picked him up to serve on the Death Railway. He, along with numerous other railway workers, were taken as so-called volunteer workers, crowded in a wagon, transported to Siam. Father ended up in a station called Wang Po, which according to him at that time was a major loco yard and shuttling station. So it was a rather large station, but still he was the sole man in charge there.
Every time they wanted staff to go to Thailand for the death railway, I got picked up. I left your grandmother in Singapore and I went to Thailand, death railway. I was there for about 6 to 8 months. Full operating station master, running the train with the military material as well as staff, transporting the Burma border into Burma.
And he faced quite a lot of difficulties. However, they weren't treated as badly as the prisoners and were given some provisions. Father was there for about 6 months and he somehow injured his foot, which caused eczema on both legs. Initially, the Japanese wanted to amputate his legs. However, they allowed him to go to the field hospital in Kanchanaburi for treatment. From there, somehow, he managed to persuade them to release him and he returned to Malaya, where he resumed duties once again.
There I got wounded for some accident or something. Then became septic and eczema on both legs. All these marks are there. They boarded me out. Get back to Colombo. Came back to Colombo as a laborer. 20-30 of us went into one goods wagon. So get this treated now. So after getting treatment, then I went up to headquarters to report for duty and look for a job. So took me on, report at the Colombo station, do odd jobs wherever required.
Father worked in various stations and in 1945, February, when the Allied forces bombed Sentul workshop, Father was supposed to be at Sentul railway station. However, by good luck, he had to proceed to Batu Caves and thereby escaped because Sentul railway station was completely destroyed. About 2 weeks later, he was posted to Brickfield railway yards. There again, when the Allies bombed the Brickfield yards, he managed to escape by hiding in the tapioca plants along the Klang River near the Buddhist temple. Eventually, when the Japanese left, Father continued into working with the railways and retired from the railways in 1970 as a senior officer and retired back to India in 1972. Lived a long and good age right up to the age of 98 when he passed on in 2013. Father was also involved greatly in the Malayan Hockey Federation, helping to establish the Malayan Hockey Federation in 1954, paving the way to Malaya participating in the 1956 Olympics. For me, I have a greater connections with the Death Railway because my father-in-law, Sardar Harnam Singh, son of Inder Singh, was also taken to the Death Railway, and he was posted in a station just 5 miles from where my father was. It was called either Tai So or Nam Tok as it's known today. Harnam Singh too worked there for some time under great difficulties and eventually managed to escape by running away and returning back to Malaysia. These few gentlemen who served under the Japanese to help build Malaysia, there were quite a few. Father mentioned names like Jora Singh, who was a senior officer of the Postal Department, Sardar Kapoor Singh from Port Klang, and a very close friend of him, Lem Bogren, who was also a hockey player. So let us all forget the contributions of our forefathers, and may we never have to experience these extreme times in the future.